Nathan. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Ryan. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on. I always appreciate it.
Welcome to Dopamine Hunters. I know we had a chat before on one, but this one I feel like is the professional layout. Well, I'm
Absolutely.
trying
Yeah, it
to
looks
get
a
it
lot better. Everything looks, a lot more professional, a lot cleaner. I love it. I love it.
cool. So I'll tell you what. Do you want to just introduce yourself? That's going to be the easiest
Yeah.
way. Just
Yeah,
tell us who
totally.
you are, what you do, and what you've been up to.
100%. So, hi guys. My name is Nathan Goodrick. I'm a driver I drive a UMP dirt modified. I also test in the NASCAR Menard series. We're hoping to get some opportunities going on there for this year. We'll kind of see how things play out. We're working hard at doing that. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, in the United States. I race in the States over here. And yeah, that's about me.
Cool, man. It's cool. So obviously, you know what Dopamine Hunters is about. We talk about mindset within racing. You know, I like motocross. Funnily enough,
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to going to motocross this weekend, and here at the moment, it is just raining every single weekend.
Really?
Oh, mate, it's so wet at the minute. Honestly,
Wow.
today I was finishing off work, and at like 2 o'clock this afternoon, it was looking bright, and I thought, oh, maybe we will get to race Sunday. And then, literally within the hour, the heavens opened up, and it has
Yeah.
been non-stop. But
Do
they
you guys
basically
race
go.
all year long? Like, what does your season look like?
So I'm no professional, you know this. I'm an
Yeah,
amateur,
yeah,
but
yeah. That's fine.
the club that we race with here is Southern Motocross, so it's in the south of England. They try and to
Okay.
put on as many races a year as they possibly can.
Really? Okay.
Most places tend to run from about March until November. What about
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
anyway? Tell us about me. What are
That's
your
yeah.
seasons like?
That's basically what's ours. We're about, I would say, about 6 weeks away from the start of our season. I'm horrified because I don't know how I'm going to do certain things yet, but we always figure it out. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried. I always say to people, because like obviously it's very stressful finding the funds, getting how to do this,
Yeah,
but these are problems that I've always wanted to have.
you wanted to.
And
Listen,
yeah,
I wanted to say to you to feel free to
yeah,
promote the fact that I noticed you had a GoFundMe for this season,
yes,
and
yep,
I'm with you with the fact that the cost of motor racing is expensive,
yeah,
and especially
yeah,
for people.
100%.
And when, mate, by all means, put the link up. Just advertise that as much as you
What
need to, man.
100%, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to, basically anyone who donates is gonna get their name on the race car and all that stuff. It goes to things like tires, fluids, just general maintenance, new body panels, everything like that, that we're just
I'm gonna
obviously
donate.
we're
Listen, Dopamine Hunters is gonna donate, and we're gonna get our sticker on there too, man.
well, I appreciate it, that's awesome. Heck yeah, like,
100%, man.
let's get a sticker on there,
Yeah,
yeah, like,
yeah,
we
yeah,
could do a
man.
name, but if you
I
want
want
to
you
do,
to
like,
have
a
a. I
sticker
want to
too.
get a good bit of footage as well later on in the year. When do you actually
Yeah,
start
heck.
then? When is your first race?
So our first run is March 20th. I think it's somewhere around there that weekend. It's a 3-day event. It's the biggest race of the year. It's going to be our first one
Oh,
of
it's
the
the
year, and
first
that's
one. It's that big, is it?
yep. It's called Mods Gone Wild. It's all about modifieds. Winner gets it's a 3-day event. It's 5,000 for the win because I race in a B mod. The A mods
So
are like 10,000 for the win,
you
give or
just
take. Yeah,
sorry, I'm butting in, but I just want you to start from the beginning
of
because I know
course.
that we've met before. Explain to the people that are listening exactly what your car is and what you race and what you do.
Yes,
So because
so to
go on.
to people who aren't familiar with it, I've gotten the funniest reactions because I tell people, oh, I'm a race car driver, and they expect like like obviously on the NASCAR side, that's a bit more traditional. People expect that, but then I show them a modified, like a dirt modified, and I know you've seen pictures of it, and people are like, that looks like the car, like the ramp car from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I've gotten that comment before. I said it looks like a dune buggy. I've gotten so many things. It's such a weird car that I don't even know where it's super
It
light.
sounds awesome, man. When I saw that clip talking about the brake horsepower and all that in it, I couldn't believe it. You say it was about
Yeah.
600 brake or something like that?
So ours are the B mods. It kind of depends. Ours makes about 400.
Still
The
a
A
lot.
mods are going to make anywhere of like 700, maybe
Wow.
give or take. Yeah, and these cars only weigh about 2,200 pounds. They are so light. I mean, they're scary.
Yeah, yeah,
These
yeah.
cars, and it's just with the transmission, we run a, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking right now. We run a, I can't think of it. I'll
It's
come back to
okay.
me on that. Come back to me because I'm just blanking
Mate,
right now.
the car is just, I mean, in a way, it's like let me explain it how I thought of it. It's like speedway with a car on a dirt track. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so speedway racing that you would have on an oval circuit, but you're on
Yeah.
dirt instead of tarmac. So it's very
Yeah.
similar to
So we're
similar,
sideways.
yeah, and
We're
you're
sideways.
drifting, aren't you? Basically, essentially,
Mhm.
it's like
The
drift car racing in the dirt. Um, but really, what sort of speeds you reckon you're getting up to?
So at the track we race at, it's Peevely, I-55. I would say in our cars, we probably get up to about 105, maybe give
Really?
or take miles per hour, which might not sound like
No,
a
it
lot
does.
on
That
paper, but
is a
when
lot.
you're in a I know, but I was like, that's it. Like, how do you expect, like, I think people who aren't like in the loop or even like
Yeah, yeah.
interested in motorsports are like 200 miles per hour is like,
Mate,
as fast as
I
everything
think it's
goes.
fascinating, and
Yeah.
we know, you and I both know what guts it takes, and I remember you talked.
Yeah.
Just tell me, listen, 'cause I feel like I'm, I just sort of like I already know what
Yeah.
you're gonna say. Tell the people what you feel when you're lining up before you're about to go out onto the field, out into the
Well, when you're sitting there lining up and you're just waiting for 10 minutes, that's the scariest feeling ever.
yeah.
Cause you're in this, like, I don't want to say metal coffin. It's really safe. It's super safe.
But
Like,
it could be,
it's not like,
unfortunately.
yeah. Yeah. But it's like, it feels that way. Cause like when you're just sitting there, everything feels cold. It's like you can't move. And you're like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm not really claustrophobic, but sometimes, like, when I have everything on and I'm just sitting
Do
there,
you get
I can
nerves,
start to get,
man? You get nerves.
all of them, 100%, but you can't let that stop you from anything.
No.
If it makes you nervous, all that means is you care,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I care.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Obviously, I care about there the 3 main things that are going through my head when I'm sitting and that, I'm just sitting there waiting. 1, am I gonna make myself look like an idiot? Meaning I'm gonna spin.
Are your friends and family there? Like, are you
Yeah,
worried
yeah,
if you're
so
gonna
most of the
crash?
time.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
am I gonna make
standard.
myself
Never
Yeah,
worry about that.
am I gonna do something so stupid that everyone here is gonna remember this for the rest of life? Obviously, that's not the case, but you think about that and you think that.
None of them
2,
are in the car, mate.
yeah,
None of them have got the guts to
yeah,
get in there, so you're already
exactly.
beating
So
them with that one.
anyone out there, like, I know, 100%. But then 2, obviously, if anything happens, that's money. Right? If
Well,
the guy behind me decides to use me as his brake pedal, which has happened before,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
accidentally, of course, but it's just that when that happens, obviously that's your money, and you're like, okay, especially with this new car this year, this is a lot more money than we've ever had in the sport.
Yeah.
This is a lot more. You know what I mean? And so
Uh,
it's scary when you think about that. And 3, of course, you worry about yourself.
are you
Sometimes like
Go on. Sorry, I
no,
butted in.
like, you worry about yourself. You know what I mean? It's like you obviously, when you're sitting, like, when you're driving, when you're going 100 miles per hour, you don't think about that. You don't think about getting hurt. You don't think about when you're sitting there. I kind of do sometimes.
Does everything
I'm
go
like, what
quiet for
if?
you like it does for me? Because obviously, I mean, we haven't even touched on this subject that I'm ADHD
Yeah,
and that,
yeah,
it actually helps me I think. It
100%.
chills me
Yeah,
out when I've actually for that 20 minutes, I'm only focusing on that, and, like,
yeah,
you relate to
yeah,
that, don't you? I think most
yeah.
racing drivers do.
Yeah, 102%. I feel like that's just like, yeah. Like, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I like racing so much. I'm not like, I have no clue if I have like ADHD or anything like that. All what I do know is that I do struggle to focus a lot of times. And racing in that moment, in that time, I'm not focused on anything else.
Yeah, you can
It's so
hyper
quiet.
focus on that.
It's so quiet, and I love it so
But
much.
this is the
You
thing,
know?
man. I listen. It's okay whether you think you are or whether you don't think you are. I was talking to a guy earlier on today about sim racing, actually, and we can talk about
Yeah,
that as well in a minute because I know you've done a lot of that. But he was saying that
absolutely.
even that really chills him out, and like, he's actually on antidepressants himself, is what he said. And he
Okay.
said he got tested
Okay.
for ADHD, but he didn't come back as positive. But I still personally think that the spectrum's so wide, and we was talking about that, the
Yeah.
fact that the spectrum is so wide, you can have a little bit of it, you could have a lot of it, you could have just some traits. So it's a shame that it's been labelled so solid, and like especially in the last year or so, everything's blown up around it, and some people are out there saying, "Oh, you got a superpower." Or it can be a benefit and like that, and I'm here to tell you, mate, I'm still struggling with mine. I'm still haven't been
Yeah.
medicated yet because of my
Mhm.
cholesterol problem. Well, it's not just that, it's actually really difficult to get the medication at the minute. You gotta wait nearly a
Yeah.
year before you get it. So,
Yeah.
I just think that, things like racing, let's just get back to that. Getting back to things like this, looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to going racing, doing something really, really sort of like, it's really rewarding, even whether you win or lose, or
Yeah.
you just come
Yeah.
off at the end
Yeah.
on the Sunday, you come home and you're like, "Oh, mate, that was so good. That was so good."
Yeah.
And, like and
I've
see your
yeah, oops, sorry.
friends as well that do it as well, that are most of the people in these sports are like-minded people. They all crave
Yeah.
for something that's quite, what would I say? Very determined and very ambitious people go in these sports. Do you would call
100%.
yourself
Yeah.
ambitious. You've always wanted to do
Yeah.
something quite like I got called a trophy hunter once, right?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
heck
not in the
yeah.
way that you'd think. It was more of a dig than something nice. Because I mean,
Really?
well, yeah, because it was before I'd gone back to motocross, and it was a good few years ago by it was a boss at the time, sort of, who was carpenter's works. And
Mhm.
the thing is with ADHD people, we explain about things which can very often come across as being bragging, like we're bragging about something,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it really isn't that. It's more like we like to, I think sometimes want to have a more meaningful conversation, and it can be seemingly like be about ourselves, like I'm doing it now.
Yeah, but it means a lot to you though, and so you
Yeah,
wanna talk about that.
but on
I'm
the
the
same
same way.
token, if you
Yeah.
talked about something or I talked about something, you would say, "Oh, I remember a time that I done something similar to that." Or I
Yeah.
remember I done something similar to that. And
Mhm.
you wouldn't wait. What we don't do is we don't wait to be asked the question. And it comes across as being rude to some people, and it really pisses me
Mhm.
off. To be honest, I'm being bluntly honest, it
Yeah.
really pisses me off because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not like that, and then it can ruin the flow of a conversation, and it really messes you up. But what is weird is when I'm at the racetrack and like most of the conversations are very short in
Yeah.
between races
Yeah,
because you're
100%.
about to
Yeah.
go out on the track. And a lot
Yeah.
of people just
Uh-huh.
come over and they talk to you for 5 minutes about your bike, go, "Oh, you got some new graphics there? No, you got some new pegs." Or what if it's really new exhaust? Anyway, see you later, bye, and they're off again. And
Yep.
then they're
Yep.
racing.
Yep.
But the thing is, throughout the day, and then you have a chat with someone on the line, and it's very sporadic. It can like go, like it's very quick moving. And I have to say this, and it's probably the same for you. During the day, it goes so quick. It feels like I've
Yes.
barely just got there, and I'm now
Yeah.
packing up
Uh-huh.
again. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and I'm quite
100%.
gutted. I'm quite like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
this is why you said about 3-day events or 2-day events, because we got one
Yeah.
coming up around my birthday, a 2-day event.
Okay.
A
Okay.
really well-known track called Fox Hills here in the UK, which I can't wait to race. I've never raced it before, and I just fingers crossed I can stay fit enough, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get some friends to video it, and it's gonna be part of the documentary
Yeah.
later on, whether that's this year or next year, we'll see. But mate, it's so rewarding in so many ways, and this is what I want to talk to you about. Just leading on to this,
Yeah.
when did you start sim racing? Because and explain to people what sim racing is compared to just racing on like Grand Theft Auto or Gran
Yeah.
Turismo.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a bit more to it, isn't there, with sim racing?
100%. So yeah, I feel like sim racing is, and I still feel like it's such an underutilized thing because I hear so many people in the industry discredit people for like, sim
Yeah,
racing. Like, oh, he's just, you know what I mean? He doesn't have as much real racing experience. So we're not going to even consider him because, oh, simulators. Not. It is though. It 100% is. Obviously, if you were born into rich family, get in a race car as soon as you can, right? That's not possible for the majority
no,
of us.
exactly.
And I feel like sim racing is such an amazing tool because you can hit a wall and not have to pay $500,000.
Yeah, but you also, from what the guys that I was talking to. So here, I don't want to keep name dropping, but so a couple of days ago, I spoke to a lady called Steffi Bao, who was a
Okay.
three time women's motocross world champion.
Okay.
in
Yeah.
2009. Well, she started a company called Init Sports and STEM for Racing, I think it's called, which is a company which is predominantly sim racing for underprivileged kids and
Cool.
yeah, so and she's going all across. Well, from what I can tell, she's going into lots of different countries and bringing it as like a almost like just an opportunity for kids in classes to have a stepping stone into motorsport that wouldn't
Mhm.
have that chance, which is
Yeah.
something I'm looking into from the neurodiverse side, saying, well,
Yeah.
whether it's just a chance to get into racing or is it a tool that could be used to help you concentrate for education?
Both.
And that's what we're going at. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for people like yourself. I mean, I know you're already there because you've already said it. People that have done sim racing. Because I haven't done any sim racing,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. I'm a
Really?
little. Well, I'm 45. I've done. Obviously, I've played on my son's he's got a steering wheel and the pedals, but I mean the
Yeah.
full setup with the 3 screens and
Yeah.
the actual apart
Yeah.
from an arcade,
Uh-huh.
I've been on those. Of course, I've been on those, but what I mean is, like a full-on sort of like touring car or a Formula 1 car setup, which I've been invited
Yeah.
to now, but the guy lives I mean, it's nothing to you guys in America. I mean, you do these sort of drives all the time, but
My gosh.
he lives in Leeds, which is a 3.5 hour drive from here.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he said to me today, he said, "I can come up whenever I want." So I'm like, plan to see if there's a motocross track near and go up and do a bit of motocross and then have a go in the sim car and yeah, maybe do an experiment on myself and see if this crazy mind can actually concentrate a bit after
Heck
being up.
yeah. Yeah,
Might
100%.
do.
Yeah.
What are the actual programs or the games or whatever you call what were the ones that you started on the Sims?
iRacing. iRacing is gonna be the well,
Say that again.
as
iRacing.
iRacing,
Okay.
yeah, iRacing is gonna be your best bet. The only problem with iRacing, this is the biggest problem, is it is expensive. There's a monthly subscription and you have to buy every car and track. It's a little ridiculous in my opinion,
Really?
but it is very well worth it in my opinion, especially if you're taking it seriously.
Yeah, and
I spent so much
gets you
money,
up
it's not
that
even
gets
funny.
you to a good
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah?
But if I were to choose, like, racing a go-kart full time or sim racing, I would choose sim racing any day.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like it's such a more vital tool, and I've heard tons of higher up people talk about that. I've even heard, like, people like Max Verstappen chime in
Yeah,
on that and
Max
say the
does
exact same
he
thing.
does. He yeah,
Yeah,
they do advocate for it. Are you what about your NASCAR stuff then? I mean, is that do the NASCAR guys over there, have any of them come from sim racing? How do
absolutely. Some of our biggest names have come from sim racing, like William Byron. He's famous for, like, when
really?
he was in the lower divisions of NASCAR, they'd like, "Oh, he came from a si," he was the he
Pioneer.
started a bit later. He started at 15 on a simulator.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like, yeah. And so it's incredible. There's so many guys coming up through it now because those skills translate. Obviously, you can't, I'm not going to put someone who's been sim racing for 5 years and just put them in a cup car. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, though, it's a great starting point.
Yeah.
It is a great starting point. It doesn't translate everything. And I've learned that, but it's such a good starting point.
You don't have to name drop. Is there anybody I mean, you obviously follow it more than I do. Is there anybody in the NASCAR arena that does say that they have got autism or ADHD or anything like that? Or do you not off the top of your mind?
I think there's one guy I can think of in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, which is NASCAR second division. That's our like grand touring
Right.
series.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name
It
at the
doesn't
moment. There
matter.
is one guy.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter that you don't because I mean, I think I told you this before. I interviewed a couple of commentators from England. One
Yeah.
of them being Jake Sanson, who's done Formula One and he's done Le Mans.
Yeah.
And I know we talked a little bit about Le Mans. We can talk about that again. Um, yeah, and my friend Andrew Coley, who's a presenter for the Rallycross, and both of those guys, as soon as you start talking to them, you go, "You're ADHD." Oh my god! I was like, I couldn't get a
Yeah.
word in edgeways, but also they are very good at talking and very good at explaining what they see.
Can I
And
can can
go on.
can I mention something real quick? So about your previous question, I apologize for interrupting. one of our biggest stars who's retired at this point, but he races locally at the same track that I do, Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace.
He's a very big ADHD advocate.
Yeah.
He's you know what I
So
mean.
we gotta
He
check
has
him
it.
out then. So what you're saying, I
Yes.
gotta search him up
Yes.
and
Reach out
find
to
him.
Kenny Wallace. Yeah, I love Kenny Wallace.
Alright.
I've had some interactions with him. He's such a great, nice guy.
Because this is what we're
He's
gonna
he,
do, Nathan. We're gonna hunt
yeah.
them all down and get them every single last
Yeah.
one on the show,
Yeah.
right? That's the plan. So eventually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a Dopamine Hunters truck and go around interviewing people at all the
Hey, yeah, heck
racetracks
yeah.
and the motocross
Yeah.
tracks, the whole lot. That's the plan. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to. I can see it already, mate. It's happening. I'm telling you now. But
Yeah,
I've got,
100%.
mate, with yourself and a few others that are coming up. We've done a lad a couple of days ago races Fiestas. We got a guy
Yeah, I saw
who's
that.
yeah. We got one coming up. Ben Taylor. I got to interview him at 12 o'clock at night, and
No.
he races Porsches for
Cool.
in
Cool.
Australia, and he's autistic. And I just think that
Okay.
I'm trying to build an army of us, right, together,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
to actually show that kids like us can come out of school and do something really flipping cool and not get um, made self-esteem taken away from us. Because it's
Yeah.
just like I've said this before to you, and I know you. Listen, mate, I truly believe because you're such a great guy. This will not be
Thank
the
you. I
last
appreciate
time
it.
you're on this podcast, all right? You'll
100%.
come
Yeah,
back
I hope
again,
not.
again and
I hope
again and
not.
again, and
Yeah.
I'd love to say one day I'll get out to you guys, and that would be
That'd be
amazing.
awesome.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That'd be
So you got to
incredible.
think like that.
100%.
You got to think like that. I think that's why we make such great people for racing and stuff like that, and win trophies, and maybe we are trophy hunters because we have high hopes and ambitions
Yeah.
to get to places. And I think some people sometimes they're just happy just to sit and rest on their laurels and not really push for stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I
No.
think it takes the
Yeah.
extra bit of mindset to go, I
Yeah.
don't give an F what you think. I'm gonna do it
Mhm.
anyway. You know what I mean?
It's not even so much more about the goal anymore to me because obviously I want to accomplish everything, but it's the pursuit of it.
Yeah.
Because I told myself a few years ago, you're never gonna forgive yourself if you at least don't try.
100%,
I
mate.
have to try. I mean, I'll be like, if this doesn't all work out, I'll be able to sleep at night knowing I gave it my
That's
all
it.
and it just wasn't meant to be.
See,
And
I
you know
think
what I
a lot
mean?
of people don't get that.
Yeah.
And that, or they don't,
Mhm.
or they don't say out loud, and maybe they do think it, but I don't know. I mean, you're saying, I wish I could have harnessed it a little bit more when I was younger. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
You're 21.
Yep, 21.
So
Yeah.
you're more than half my age, mate. Less, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did feel like this when I was younger. And I feel like, especially maybe because of different things happen in everybody's life, and everybody goes through tough times and all the rest of it. I definitely
Yeah.
felt like a lot of my stuff got suppressed and I got held back. And I definitely think
Yeah.
that some of it was to do with mental problems. And I definitely think addiction. Listen, man, we'll just talk about this openly.
No,
At the end of the day, it's like
100%. Yeah.
I got addicted to alcohol and other things, and definitely spent
Yeah.
a whole lot of
Yeah.
my life probably thinking I was depressed, not really understanding myself.
Mhm.
And you're trying to cover it up with these substances and drink and stuff and going out
Yeah.
and trying to calm my brain down. But the truth is, I mean, it wasn't no fault of my parents at the end of the day. What happened
Mhm.
financially happened. But I had to stop racing when I was like 14, 15 years old, moved to Reading, and then the bikes fizzled out and then all the naughtiness took over. But the trouble is like a lot of kids, this is another reason why this is so important for this show because and what we're talking about, like you've just mentioned about Sims racing
Mhm.
being very accessible for kids that haven't got money, because it will keep those kids that possibly have got ADHD out of the alleys trying to get drink from the shop
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
because they reckon like 85% more likely to be addicted to a substance if you're ADHD or
Yeah.
neurodivergent because people do it to self-medicate. And it's
Yeah.
crazy to think that. And I think, and I speak to these guys, like I think I told you when I spoke to Duncan Tappy about it, and he didn't, at no point has he said he is ADHD or anything, but he did say to me he struggled in school and he struggled, he lost his attention all the time. like we do, like we just said we do. But he said when as soon as he got into go-karting and he pushed to get into it, and his friend, he said they didn't really have a lot of money into it, but he just happened to fall into a niche with some friends that managed to pull him along and get him into go-karting, and he
Yeah.
sort of got
Yeah,
him into
yeah.
it. The thing is, look at how much it changes your life. If you're
Mhm.
around
Oh
the
my
right
gosh, yeah.
people, if you're around the right people, I mean, it's like all us guys in the pits, yeah. I mean, some of these guys, we're in our 40s, 50s. A lot of them have had troubles in the past and have come back to motocross and has actually
Yeah.
saved them from even from suicide, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a friend of mine, and I'm not going to mention his name, but at the minute he's in Spain. He's 8 years sober. He was really in the
That's
doldrums.
awesome.
He was,
That's really cool.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but now he's traveling all of Spain in a camper van, racing his dirt bikes across Spain all through the winter months.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he went right down in all the bad stuff and everything. He ended up being in prison and everything, but, like, he's come out
Yeah.
of it now. I mean, he's commented on a lot of my stuff, so I can't wait to
They're
see him
good,
actually in
yeah.
March. But my point is that it definitely is a therapy. It might not be the cheapest therapy to do motocross, but it's
Yeah.
definitely probably, and
It's
I
so
say this to
worth it.
people, I say it's
Yeah.
cheaper than going to the pub every day and going to the bar every day and having no money from week to week to week. And it's also a
Yeah.
lot cheaper on on your brain and your life, your
Mhm.
mental, um,
Yeah.
your wealth. You know,
100%.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
100.
it's
Yeah.
like the stuff, even the sim racing and stuff. It's like if we can create a some sort of evidence that it really benefits kids with these sorts of problems. And who knows, maybe they would end up opening these sort of places up that were more accessible and they could be funded by some sort of governing body that was, I
Yeah.
don't say necessarily the taxpayer. I don't really know how it's going to look yet or whether it
It's
will even
yeah, it
happen, but our point is to try and get the research done, and whether
yeah.
that would be me to begin with and other people. But I'm pretty sure the more I do these podcasts and the more I speak about it, and the more that people like yourself and come on and say what they think, the better chance I've got of the government maybe giving me a grant towards it and putting some sort of effort into it
That'd
to
be
sort of, like,
insanely
you know what I
cool.
mean? And, like,
Yeah,
and not
and worth
necessarily
it.
just to be
Yeah.
sim racing. I mean, we picked that because
Yeah.
obviously it's a high, what we're calling it is like a high risk environment, but in a safe
Yeah.
world. Do you know?
Yeah.
So
That yeah,
you're
that is a
gonna,
great way to put it.
yeah, I
That is
mean,
a fantastic way
you're
to put
gonna
it.
still get the heart rate and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna be for everybody because at the end of the day, I don't know, a girl with ADHD is not necessarily gonna wanna be a racing driver, you know?
Yeah,
So
not everyone wants to be a racer. Yeah, exactly.
you gotta go,
But yeah.
but the thing
What
is, I think that
yeah.
it could open doors to what we call that right environment in school to learn for the hidden 20% of kids that have got issues.
Percent.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It could yeah, 100%. It could just be in like you said, it doesn't even have to be sim racing, but the sim racing could be an awesome way to just introduce that concept and maybe help figure
Yeah,
out other
and
ways you can
develop it.
cater to other people as well. Absolutely.
That's the
Yeah.
plan, man. And
Yeah.
you know, and I know I'm gonna harp on a bit about it over these next few months, talking to people and just listen, just really sort of like shooting the shit on it and finding out what everybody else thinks. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, that's what it's about. Listen, man,
100%.
I want you to I don't know. What else I would like you to explain a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about the NASCAR stuff that you have done. Because did you do some testing in one of those?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
whose was it?
so last year I was, allowed the privilege, I guess you
Right.
could say. So, I tested a NASCAR Menard Series car at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
I can't thank those guys enough, the Rise Racing guys for allowing me to do that, especially with my track record, because I'm not necessarily track record, but lack of track record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because before that, I mean, like, I've had a few years in a mini stock and I was in a drag car before that,
Huh?
but that's a big jump from that to a 700 horsepower
Hang on.
NASCAR
Sorry.
Menard
Sorry.
Series car.
Butting in. I forgot to say that you done drag racing, didn't you, before?
Yes, I did a
Yeah, so you
long
missed
time
that
ago.
whole chunk, Nathan. You gotta tell everybody about that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really, like, do it anymore, though. It's like, I don't like,
But it's
yes, it
still
was
cool,
something.
man. It's still
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
I
Go
used
from
to
drag
drag race.
racing. I mean, drag. How fast was your drag car?
So ours, it wasn't the fast. It would go up to, like, in a quarter mile, it would go up to about 110. We were running maybe mid 11-second quarter miles ish, give or take.
Yeah.
It was a bracket car, so we were bracket racing
Oh,
a lot.
okay,
You know
okay,
what I
okay.
mean? Yeah, yeah.
But still, at a young age, how old was you when you was doing that?
Funny story. So you're supposed to be 16.
Right, okay.
That was the
You're gonna get
minimum.
yourself into trouble now.
No, it was so long ago now, and so we noticed that they didn't check any IDs.
Right.
So I was 15 at the time, and I looked older, and so my dad was just like, "Okay, you're gonna put this helmet on, and you're gonna keep it on, and you're gonna pretend to be me."
He forced you in
So
there.
my dad has taken two passes down the drag strip in his entire life,
Okay,
and I was basically pretending to be him so I could race.
fair enough.
Because
But it
with
went
the helmet
well.
on,
That's the main
it went
thing.
well. Yep, it went well. My reaction times, like, we had a few people who knew, you know what I mean? They didn't rat us out. This was like 6 years ago
So
now,
how
so
comes
it's like
so
whatever.
tell me, how did you actually transition from that to the, dirt car? I mean, what made you do that, and who led you down that
So
path?
there were a couple factors, and this is kind of, I don't mean to boo-hoo, yada yada, but our drag car actually got stolen. That was the
Man,
biggest thing. It got stolen. We gave it to a gentleman who said he was gonna help work on it, who was gonna do all the stuff. He was gonna, he was telling
right,
everything a 16-year-old wanted to hear. How I was gonna be in a funny, like, in a top fuel car by the time I was 18,
right,
yada yada yada. Well, that didn't happen, and he stole the car and stole the money we gave him as well.
man.
Thankfully, 2 years later, we did recover the car, which was good. We sold the car last year, but we did recover the car. That was, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so but that was kind of
And that was the
the goal
start of
was
when you wanted
never.
to go into the dirt cars?
That was the catalyst for it. That was kinda like, "Okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
time to switch." Because, before that, even when we started drag racing, the goal was always NASCAR. It was always NASCAR. I mean, I would love to be a top fuel driver. I'd love to be a funny car driver. NASCAR is always the
Explain to
place
me
that
what
I
the
thought.
funny cars are, man, because 'cause I'm not
So they do a quarter mile in about 3 seconds.
right.
They go 330 miles per hour
Jesus.
in about 3 seconds. They're some of the craziest machines ever built. They make 11,000 horsepower.
What
11,000
do they run
horsepower.
on
Those,
then?
and
What do they run on? What fuel do they run?
they run on nitromethane.
Nitro.
So it's a mixture of gasoline and nitrous, and it's toxic. You'll see these people when they fire those cars up in the pits, they're wearing gas masks.
Really?
It will literally, like, choke
Oh,
you out.
right.
It's like tear gas. I've stood next to those cars while it's running, and you can't for more than like 30 seconds because your
Wow.
eyes will start going
I
red.
didn't
It'll
know
start to
that. I
burn.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it is so crazy. The craziest part about the NHRA and, like, Top Fuel and Funny Car drag racing,
Yeah.
they rebuild those engines in 30 minutes. They pull into
Do
the
they?
pits, take it all apart, and put it back together in 30 minutes because they have to change so much because that engine is literally exploding.
What's it,
It's
mate?
it's ex
The cost on those guys must be insane,
Yeah.
man. That must be.
Yeah.
I mean, who are these guys that are running those sort of shows? I mean, as I'm interested in, I can't imagine there's a lot of difference between those guys doing the drag racing and the guys that do the monster trucks and monster jam. I mean, are they the same sort of teams? Are they the same people, same mechanics? Are they same
No,
similar
so
engines?
so the NHRA is its own, like, specific thing. That's the group that I ran for at the beginning of my racing career. It's the National Hot Rod Association. They're the big drag racing, like, division. They're the NASCAR of drag racing. They're the Formula 1 of drag
Yeah,
racing, to put it like that.
and the real
Monster
deal.
Jam is its own. Oh my gosh, I credit Monster.
Go on.
I used to be such a big fan of Monster Jam. I don't like every decision they made in the direction of the sport. One thing I do like, though, is how they put drivers into these trucks. I love it because it's not like other motorsports where it's like it's funded. Monster Jam funds all the teams properly.
Yeah,
All
so
the
that's what
teams
I was
get
gonna
their own
say.
funding. Yeah.
To explain, so you just said then, and correct me if I'm wrong, they put drivers into the trucks. So do they pick drivers from, like,
Yes.
NASCAR and stuff like that to go into it?
So there's local monster truck driving, you know what I mean? So there is like a ladder of monster trucks and things like that. Mind you, I'm not an expert. I don't know too much about this field, so but my understanding that Monster Jam picks drivers. And I don't know like if they get paid or how they get paid. I'm assuming they do. But they pick them and it's not based off how much funding they have. It's not it might be like social media a little bit, but it's mainly about the driver and who is going to drive
Yeah,
this truck the best.
so that makes
You'll see
sense.
occasionally, yeah,
No,
and
I'll
that's
tell you for
how
why,
all
because I'll
motorsports
tell
should
you,
be.
sorry to butt in, man, and
That's
maybe
okay.
you know
Yeah.
him, that's why I'm so eager to ask you. Because a guy called Ryan Vargas,
Yep, yep.
you
I don't know, like, so I don't know him personally. I've met him a few,
you
I've
have?
met him a few times. Yes, I have met him
Oh,
a few
okay.
times. Does he? If you say, "Hey, do you know Nathan Goodrick?" He'd be like, "No," you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I have
Oh, that's
talked with,
interesting.
yeah,
'Cause I've been trying to get to him. So he was on my LinkedIn and he said, "Yeah, I will talk to you about Monster Jam and about NASCAR."
yeah,
And then he said, "Message Field Entertainment," which is the company. Is it Feld Entertainment? I Feld Enter Anyway, it's the big entertainment company that deals with Monster Jam, but also does the Supercross, which is what I found out. Anyway, I emailed them and I did get a response back the first time. They said, "Oh, we need a little bit more detail about what it's about." I told them what it's about, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them again. Then I messaged Ryan Vargas, and he said, "No, I will get onto it." And I just haven't heard from him. But mate, I'm guessing
yeah,
people like him, they are at the top of their game, aren't they, at the moment? So this
yeah.
is why I have to climb that ladder. But
Mhm.
the fact that you've met him is crazy. But
Yes, yeah.
because
I saw him at Kansas last year. I mean, mind you, like I say, meet like
yeah, brush shoulders.
we
I
said,
know what you're
yeah,
saying.
cross shoulders. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying. Like it wasn't like
yeah.
anything. Like he doesn't know me. He doesn't.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like me
but yeah,
meeting all
yeah,
these other guys, all these racing drivers. I've only met them
yeah.
once. I mean, I met. I don't know if you know who Carson Brown is. Do you know Carson
That
Brown?
sounds familiar.
He's a
That
yeah.
I
So he's
saw
a
his
really
face.
big motocross dude from
Okay,
America
okay.
who rides pretty much any bike around his back garden, and he's got a massive Instagram following. And he's been around in motocross for a little while now, quite a while now. But he's not one of the supercross guys. But even though he can hang with all of them guys.
Hmm.
Anyway, he came to England to race in the what we call the veteran Des Nations, the veteran motocross of nations,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that's where they ride all the two strokes, and it's quite a big deal. We've had Ryan Villapoto over here as well, which is a big dude. Like he was a champion as well, and now they're starting to attract a lot more of the ex champions from Supercross and motocross. Yeah, I was just stood on the hill with my little boy at Fox Hill. It's the place where I'm going to be racing this year. And it's
Yeah.
the infamous track that I saw when I was a youngster, and I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of guys ride there. He just come riding up next to us from the pits, and I got a photo with him. So when he's saying about brush
Yeah.
shoulders, like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Me and Carson, we go way back, mate. Yeah, we
No,
just
yeah, I did.
we go so far back. But you know, what I mean, but you thing is, man, never you got you got to exaggerate a little bit, otherwise, it's going to be a boring story, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Percent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to talk about it like that, I've brushed shoulders with so many cool people. It's not even funny.
Listen, I am looking forward. I know we've. How long we've been talking for, mate? Time's running away from me.
40 minutes
Okay,
ish,
so you
give or
got like
take.
literally. I'm trying to keep these to 45, which is great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say to you is yeah, because I want to wrap it up. Yeah, mate, you've been an amazing guest again,
Thank you.
and I'm so glad that yeah, I got you back. 100% we're going to do it again. We definitely need to
100%.
sort out how we
Absolutely.
can get our name on the car, and
Let's do it.
maybe and
Let's do it.
something for you over here as well. I'm still
That'd be
learning,
cool.
Nathan, how to edit all these up. I'm doing it
Yeah.
much better than I was before. So it's still quite a learning curve for me because, as you know, I'm a builder
Yeah.
that has decided to start doing podcasting and learning how to use a
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
At 45 years old, it's tough. It is tough, mate. Do
10.
you know what I mean?
I personally use CapCut. It has a
Yeah,
free and paid option. I caved in, and I started using the paid one after using it for the
Well,
free
we
one
got
for so long.
Adobe. Well, I've been using Adobe
Adobe, okay,
because
okay.
the thing is, I've also this is another cool thing. Obviously, we're doing what I'm doing. I'm connecting with lots of different people, but I managed to get into contact with a guy called his name's Simon. Simon Vetcher, but he was a cameraman for the BBC over here. I think it was the
Okay,
BBC or
yeah,
Channel 5. Anyway, he was one of the top he's one of these top sort of cameraman guys. So he's given me a little bit of advice on what I should be using, what I shouldn't be using, and he was the one to say to use the Adobe stuff, but also gave me the push more than anything. Just told me to get on with it. He said you're
yeah.
only going to learn by doing it and making the mistakes. And that's
100
he
and
said, I said
yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
I said there's many times I asked somebody else to do it because I had an editing guy doing some of it, but
Mhm,
to be honest, he's good, but at the minute, and I will be using him again in the
mhm,
documentary and stuff. But at the minute, I'm having to learn myself, and like you know, with your racing,
yeah,
there's a budget, mate. There's a budget for this
yeah,
stuff, and
yeah,
you have to do it yourself.
100%.
But the
It's
thing is,
so much like yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
But anyway,
uh-huh.
we're off on a bit of a tangent now. I just want to say thanks again for coming on the show.
Of course.
I'll speak to you again soon. You've been a diamond fella, and if you think of anybody that you want to any of your friends or anybody from the track or anybody else that wants to maybe have a little interview or
Yeah,
have a chat, even if it's one like, one where you're in as well, I don't mind. More the better. Do you get in touch with me? Don't hesitate.
100%,
Let's
yeah,
just keep the ball rolling, mate. I'm always going to be here for a chat. 100%, mate. And like I say,
100%, yeah.
in the future, who knows? I might be over there seeing you in the
Absolutely, that'd be
Dopamine
really
Hunter
cool.
van. I swear to God, it's
Yes, yeah,
coming, mate. In a truck.
percent, yeah.
Dopamine Hunters on a monster truck. That's what I want to see,
That'd be oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
wouldn't
Yeah,
it? With motocross bikes jumping over the top. That'd be amazing.
be like the next Red Bull, all the
Right, could
crazy
you
stuff you're
well,
gonna
I
do.
know Travis Pastrana done quite a good job of the Nitro Circus, but we could do a Dopamine Hunters revival for sure.
Yeah,
Something
let's
like
do
that, man.
it. Absolutely.
Listen, man, I'm gonna love you and leave you. You take care, all right, buddy? And I
100
will chop all this up and send it over to you, and you will see it in a few days' time,
Thank
hopefully.
you. Yeah, thanks
All
for
right,
having
man.
me on again, I
Good
appreciate
luck
it. Let me
racing
know
this
if you
year.
want me on again. Yes,
Good luck racing.
absolutely.
Good luck for March.
You too.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. My little boy's getting into it sort of as well, steadily. Got him
Boy.
some new boots. Well, he hasn't done a race yet, but he's got some new boots the other day. It's his birthday in a couple of weeks. Got him some Alpine Star boots, and we
Yeah.
got him his Troy Lee crash helmet. But it just hasn't stopped raining, like I say. So we were hoping for a bit of dry weather, and then we can really hit it, man. But
Yeah.
hey, man,
Well, yeah,
I'll be
absolutely.
putting videos up, I'm sure, and you'll see them, and you do the same.
Nice.
Get your
Alright,
mates to
yep,
do some
awesome.
videos of the racing.
Let's do it 100%. Well, thank you so much for having me on again. Always appreciate it. Like I said, if you ever
Yeah,
want me
yeah,
on
man.
again, I'm always here. So
No
just let me know.
worries. All right, Nathan. I'll see you later. Take care, buddy.
Yep. Take care. Have
All
a
right,
good one,
man.
Ryan. Thanks
Bye-bye.
again.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.